Hey guys, it's Esteban again for Incognitistic. Today I want to talk about the pipeline to prison. The so-called pipeline to prison that usually points its finger at law enforcement for being the reason why a lot of our young people are being sent over to prison. And I had a comment in one of my videos earlier about what I thought about the um, correction system and what I thought about autistic people uh, and how they were treated in such a system, including the system of law enforcement. And I have to say that I think the system is broken, honestly. Uh, there's very little rehabilitation in the correction system. Yeah, I mean, people who are going through it can get a degree if they work hard enough, but really there's a lot of learning on how to be uh, a more efficient criminal in prison and in jails uh, nationwide. And so my 2 cents are that in retrospect, after being diagnosed with ADHD and autism, I started to look back on a lot of the suspects that I put in jail and a lot of the people that I had to go out to radio calls for. And mind you, this is in retrospect, I found that I believe that most of them were probably neurodivergent in one way or another and or had learning disabilities and were not diagnosed, were not assisted growing up, and had to either mask or fend for themselves in a world that is challenging and not made for them. Sound like a familiar story? I mean, they often say that cops and criminals are sometimes like-minded. It's just that we have different goals. But the thing is that the mind of a neurodivergent thrives with challenges and finds just ways to shortcut and to navigate around the hurdles. Sorry, that Max Headroom moment was brought to you by my cat who decided to knock into the phone. Either way, getting back to the pipeline to prison, I've noticed that in high school, since I was a SRO in a high school for, 7 years, I've been an SRO, and I noticed, after having been diagnosed, I noticed that most of my job security were students that had learning disabilities and or were neurodivergent. And it all stemmed from a education system that forces them to try to learn in a similar manner than neurotypicals do. And of course, when kids who are autistic and or have ADHD are forced to learn in a way that's not conducive to learning for them, it causes much frustration and it can cause them to act up quite a bit, eventually disrupting the classroom, eventually being sent to the dean's office, and even eventually having to be my job security because they're being a danger to themselves or others by hitting walls, throwing things, hitting themselves, trying to hurt themselves, trying to hurt other people. And also they sometimes decide to attack other people or the teacher or administration or any staff really because they're frustrated. They're in a process of a meltdown And I'm not saying that it's appropriate to attack other people or to commit assault with a deadly weapon or battery. However, I think what is appropriate is to come up with an education system that doesn't belittle and betray these people who could otherwise be functioning parts of society and very productive, given that they're educated in a manner that's conducive for them. I know that that's a lot, and I know that other people have other opinions. As somebody who's been boots on the ground, that's how I feel. And I feel that if there was a chance that the education system could change to accommodate neurodivergence and people with learning disabilities better, that pipeline to prison would almost dry up. What do you think? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.